You know who it is, you know who it's not. Digger, and I'm back with a reaction video. Yeah, I think I'm gonna like maybe alternate these. Maybe at best it'll probably be more gaming than reaction. But there's a lot of good videos back to back now. I'm sitting on the Murder Drones one, and I pray the final episode of Starter Squad comes out in at least maybe a couple months from now. I really want to see that. I might even like take the Starter Squad reaction out of the unlisted purgatory where all the other ones are, because Starter Squad is a very important series to me, so I might just leave that up on the channel. But anyway, we're here with Alex Bales' Diary of a Wimpy Kid Theory, which is brand new. He like made it on the damn recording this, and you might be thinking, oh, Digger, who's Alex Bale? Alex Bale? You don't know the great Alex Bale? The creator of Don't Feed the Muse, which was in conjunction with all of his SpongeBob theories, and it was kind of about how, you know, him making SpongeBob theories is really consuming him and all that stuff, but he just wants to make his short films and all that. It's very good. It's very nice, you know? It also like ties into like his Happy Meat Farms kind of ARG thing. It's really cool. You should watch Alex Bale's stuff. It's great. But I'm going to watch Alex Bale's newest stuff, The Diary of a Wimpy Kid Theory. What could it be about? We'll never fucking know. Let's see.
There is a single page in the first Diary of a Wimpy Kid book that, at first glance, seems completely normal. But there's something on this page that, once you see it, will forever change the way you look at these books. There's a genuinely unnerving implication here that I don't think anyone has ever talked about before today.
It's that smell.
I knew that door had a lock on it!
I think he said a door going down an accident.
What's up?
Zooey Mama.
Zooey Mama.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid is a classic children's book series about a narcissistic kid named Greg Heffley who believes one day he'll be famous.
The only reason I agreed to write in this thing is because when I'm rich and famous, I'll have better things to do than answer people's stupid questions all day long.
But until then, he's stuck in middle school dealing with his crazy family and the weird kids at school.
Wanna see my secret freckle?
This theory's not gonna be about Fregley, by the way. I don't think I'm capable of figuring out what's going on with him.
They've gone on to make
maybe Fregley's just fucking weird, man. You don't need like an elaborate theory about that. Maybe he's just a weird kid, bro. You don't know any weird kids, man? Come on. I know a weird kid. I mean, maybe Fregley's just autistic, bro. Like, fuck. I was about to say I know a weird kid, and then I was gonna talk about like my little cousin. You know, he's a pretty silly little dude. But like, I think he's just autistic, bro. Like, I think that's it, man.
4 Rowley spin-offs and 7 movie adaptations, and there are no signs of them ever slowing down. And the weird thing about this is that not only
God, what was the last Diary of a Wimpy Kid fucking book I read, bro? Fuck. All right. Wimpy Kid, Roger Gruel's Dog Days, Hard Luck, Cabin Fever, The Last Straw. I think I read all of these. I don't know if I ever read The Ugly Truth. I think I read The Getaway. Yeah, I definitely read The Getaway. Didn't read Double Down. Didn't read Old School. Read The Long Haul. I don't know if I read The Meltdown. The last book, like, chronologically, the last book I read was probably Long Haul. I think the last book that I read, like, in totality was Cabin Fever. So I guess I'm a bit of a fan, you know. I've read a decent chunk of the books. I've read pretty much all the ones in this top row, though.
And the weird thing about this is that
I've also read The Third Wheel. I didn't see it behind his head, but I've read The Third Wheel. Okay.
Not only do these books get a lot more cartoony and unrealistic as they go along, but by book 20, Greg is still in middle school. He never ages.
Yeah.
And look, I know this is a thing that happens in a lot of different media about kids in school, but the thing that's interesting about Diary of a Wimpy Kid is that the books themselves are constantly acknowledging it. But for now, I'm stuck in middle school with a bunch of morons. To be honest with you, I feel like I've been stuck in middle school forever. I looked in the mirror, but everything looked exactly the same as it always does.
Oh my god, is that what this theory is about?
Growth spurt yet? Mixed in with gorillas who have to shave twice a day.
From the start, these diaries have been drawing attention to the fact that Greg doesn't age, which makes me feel like there might be some kind of in-universe explanation for it. And look, I promise this is not going to be another edgy, oh, Greg is actually dead theory. No, I think there's actually a much simpler explanation.
What are we going for, bro? Benjamin Button?
The objective truth. They are diaries written by an egotistical sociopath who is constantly lying to make himself look better.
We know
Greg
that.
is the definition of an unreliable narrator. So, for all we know, Greg is aging normally, but for whatever reason, he's just choosing to lie about it in his diaries. That's the most logical in-universe
What are we going for here? Are we going for Greg is aging like normal, but he's still stuck in middle school? Like, are we saying he's getting held back a lot? Are we saying he's in some kind of... well, since we're not doing Greg is dead, it can't be that he's stuck in some kind of purgatory or fucking infinite Tsukuyomi or something like that. So what are we going for, Alex? Are we going for fucking quintuple flunker Greg? I feel like the no kid left behind or whatever would have already kicked in, and they'd fucking just let him go by now, man. Like... I feel like they gotta let him go by now.
explanation.
There's no way.
That's at least what I thought, until I found a very strange detail on page 122 of the first Diary of a Wimpy Kid book.
What's up?
A page
Are we going...
forever
Is it time loop? Are we doing time loop?
changed the way that I look at these diaries. On this
I gave mom and dad their gifts. I give them the same kind of thing every year, but parents eat that stuff up. Okay.
page, Greg talks about giving his parents the same gifts for Christmas every year.
Yeah?
I gave mom and dad their gifts. I get them the same kind of thing every year, but parents eat that stuff up.
Okay.
And then we see a drawing of Greg giving his parents their gifts. Do you see anything wrong with this? Look very closely.
I'm looking.
Greg believes that his parents eat that stuff up. But in the drawing, his parents are clearly unhappy with their gifts. The drawing contradicts Greg's opinion, which means Greg couldn't have written this page.
I don't know about that. I mean, like, yeah, arguably you could say, oh, yeah, you know, the drawing contradicts Greg's opinion, so there's no way he could have made it. Clearly there's a narrator other than Greg, but I think more realistically, him saying parents eat that stuff up is like sarcastic, and he knows that his parents are not like super happy with the gifts, but like, I don't know, he's a fucking middle schooler. What's he gonna get them, a car? Like, you know, like I don't see this as evidence yet. We'll see when he gets further, though.
Wait a second. Is Greg not the author of his diaries?
That's a good question.
Okay,
I mean,
so,
again, I'm going to say, that page does not give me that vibe at all. I mean, it's like, you can definitely spin it like that, but again, I feel like he could just be like, oh yeah, parents eat that stuff up. But like, he knows that it's like a fucking, like, it's a super like mid like dog shit ass gift for them. But he, you know, like, I just don't think it's going to, I wouldn't go that far off of that little bit of information just yet. I need more evidence. Obviously, he's compiled more evidence before making this video. Alex Bale is very well researched. So, of course, it's not just off that. But just off that, I'm not convinced in the slightest of whatever the fuck he's about to try to sell me.
Obviously, I know that Jeff Kinney is the real author of these books, and all of this is just fictional. But I'm saying, in the universe of Diary of a Wimpy Kid, what if someone else is writing these diaries pretending to be Greg?
There's no way.
Have you ever noticed how the diaries are constantly cutting to other perspectives when Greg is
You know, that's actually fair.
isn't around?
That's fair,
We've kind
actually.
of just had to assume that Greg either heard about these things after the fact, or maybe he was just exaggerating. But sometimes they really
He could just make shit up.
feel like they're telling us things that Greg wouldn't know. Mom likes to rent these romantic comedies, and she makes Dad watch them with her. But I know Dad is just waiting for the first chance to break away and go back down to the basement.
Okay. I will say, this one is not the most convincing one he could have chosen. Knowing that your father likes to use his fucking, like, World War I, World War II? I can't remember what it was. I remember this book. Knowing that he would rather do that than watch romantic comedies with your mom that you can probably hear from outside of their room does not make you an omniscient narrator or whatever. But I see what he's getting at. It's like the Team 4-Star thing, Dragon Ball Z Abridged, where Vegeta asks Frieza, "How did you know about the parts you weren't there for?" And it's like, how did you know about the parts you weren't there for, you know?
How does Greg know this? I mean, who else but Frank would know what he was secretly thinking about in this moment? This doesn't feel like something he would tell his son about later. In fact,
it doesn't need to be. It's an assumption you could easily make.
I feel like they're specifically from Greg's dad's perspective.
You think Greg's dad is writing it? Let's see. Let's read all of these just to see if I'm really like convinced.
In fact, these.
When Dad was getting the mail, our neighbors from up the street, the Shells walked down the hill with their new baby. Hey there, Frank. He could have easily saw that from a window. And if any teenagers pass by our driveway, he drenches them. Again, he could have easily seen that. His parents are sick of his dad because they sent him off to military academy. Again, he could have easily heard about that from either one of these kids. Well, then again, he probably doesn't know these kids very closely. So there is a good chance that that one is one they maybe like not know about. And that could point to the real author being his father. But I don't know. A lot of these just seem very easily explainable.
These books are full
Dad sees the Warren kids outside in their front lawn every day on his way home from work when his carpool goes by their house. Okay, this one, it super depends. Are these like neighbors, or is this like a whole different neighborhood? And he drives back and he's like, he sees that. Because that's what really would sell this one to me. If this is like a whole different neighborhood that he drives by, well, no, because this is a good one. This is a good one.
That feel like
they're okay with the way things worked out for him. I don't know. This one also seems like, why would Greg know this is happening? You know? Oh, too far back.
Son about later. In fact,
ever since Mom assigned the dishes to me and Roger, Dad's going down to the room after dinner to work on his miniature war battlefield.
These
that
books
you could
are
easily
full
know that.
of moments like this that feel like they're specifically from Greg's dad's.
There are only two of them so far that I think like
Greg
can only
even
work
claims
as
at
Greg's
the start
dad.
of Third Wheel that he can remember things from when he was in his mother's womb, and the things he remembers do feel kind of accurate. But wouldn't it make way more sense if these were actually Frank's memories?
This is a really good one.
From when his wife was pregnant?
What if Frank is the real author of the diaries? What if these are books that Frank is writing based on his son's life for some unknown reason? And it's okay if you're not fully on board yet, because I didn't really take this seriously either until I found something insane.
Okay.
At the start of Dog Days, we are told that there is a newspaper comic called Lil Cutie that Frank and Greg read together every day. And we find out that Lil Cutie is a comic series that was written by a father based on his son.
Ooh, okay.
Look at these two drawings on the same page.
Okay.
You can't tell me they aren't trying to frame Frank and Greg in the exact same way as the Lil Cutie author and his son. And that's not even the craziest part, because on the very next page it says, I guess now that the real Little Cutie is all grown up, his dad's having trouble coming up with new material. His dad's having trouble coming up with new material. Is this not exactly what we've been talking about this whole time?
What, how the books have been getting more like cartoony, silly, unrealistic, things like that?
The diaries get cartoonier and Greg never ages because now that his son is grown up, Frank is out of new material and he's forced to just make stuff up. We even find out in Old School that Frank had a very similar childhood to Greg. He also had a best friend like Rowley, a dog, and two brothers that annoyed him. So maybe some of Greg's middle school stories are actually based on Frank's childhood memories.
We're a lot alike.
Everything here fits perfectly. Now, if you still don't believe me, then I have one.
I'm still not on board yet, but he is getting to me. He's getting to me. Especially with the before Greg was born stuff, and all the memories seemed like very believable. They seemed very realistic. They seemed like things that the characters would do or would happen. That one was like, okay, there's a chance that his dad could be writing this, you know? All the other evidence, the similarities between their childhoods, that I can also see, you know?
Final question for you.
Whatever.
A question that's been right in front of our faces this entire time, but we never thought to ask it before.
What?
Now.
What?
Why are these books called Diary of a Wimpy Kid? Why would Greg, someone who is consistently shown as narcissistic and egotistical, ever refer to himself as wimpy? Greg has an extremely high opinion of himself.
Yeah.
That's like his main thing.
That is.
But you know who does think Greg is wimpy?
His father.
His dad.
Dad was pretty mad at me for letting myself get bullied by a kid who was still in kindergarten. When Dad saw it, he said it was a girl bike and I should get rid of it. Dad said there was no way he was getting me a dollhouse. So yes, I believe for whatever...
I mean, yeah, if you want to believe that... Okay. I, like, a lot of these I'm just not getting behind, you know? Like... The books are called Diary of a Wimpy Kid, right? They're called Diary of a Wimpy Kid. There is no, like, in universe, there is no reason to assume that the rest of this title exists, right? There is no reason to assume that the rest of this title exists in universe. All these books exist in the real world. I think the only part that would be actually on the book in universe would be Diary, because it's his diary. That's it. It wouldn't have Diary of a Wimpy Kid. That's just the title of the book in real life. There is no reason to assume that these books are being published the same way they are in real life, especially if they're being written by... Well, not especially if they're being written by the father. If they're being written by the father, it is easy to assume that they would be being published. But if they're being written by Greg, there's a very high chance that they would never even see the light of day as a published book, and they would still just be referred to as Diary. There is no reason to assume that Diary of a Wimpy Kid is the full title of a book within that same fucking universe and not... It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That... Okay. You guys understand what I mean, right? But I will let it fly. I'll let it slide. Let's assume these books are being published as is, as they are in real life, in universe as well. Even though kind of the whole thing with Greg is that he's really not ever gonna be... this super successful guy that he sees himself as because he's a fucking narcissist and all that. And his books probably are never going to get published and he's never going to be big and famous, so they're never going to see the light of day. But let's assume they're published in universe as they are in real life and that they are titled Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Then maybe his dad could be writing them, yes.
And egotistical ever refer to himself as main thing. But you know who does think Greg is wimpy?
Pops.
His dad.
Dad was pretty mad at me for letting myself get bullied by a kid who was still in kindergarten. When Dad saw it, he said it was a girl bike and I should get rid of it. Dad said there was no way he was getting me a dollhouse. So yes, I believe for whatever reason, Greg's dad decided to write the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books. And just like with Little Cutie, it ended up becoming a huge financial success, leading to a whole series of books and even a handful of movies.
I always figured they'd make a movie about my life, but I didn't think they'd start the story here.
I always figured they'd make a movie about my life. This line implies that these are in-universe movies based on the diaries.
You know, you're right. You're right. I didn't take that into account. Having like a confessional thing in the movie where he goes, I always thought they'd make a movie about my life, does go to say, like, yeah, this is an in-universe movie. So fair enough. You caught me. There is an in-universe movie called Diary of a Wimpy Kid. It is the in-universe. You got me.
Greg did actually become
but I'm ever the skeptic, you know?
famous like he always wanted, but what if it's because his father decided to create a best-selling book series about his life? And that is my Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
No, it's not. We're not even halfway through the
Case
fucking
closed.
video, dude. What's the rest of your
Yep,
theory?
I'm pretty sure we wrapped up everything.
No, dude. What's the rest of it?
I know I always say that.
Bro,
and then
come
there's
on,
a big
bro. No,
surprise
dude,
plot
come
twist
on.
in these videos, but like
No,
this
dude.
time
We
we're
know.
done for
We know.
sure.
We see
I
the
mean,
video
you,
length.
You can just leave.
Look at the video.
We're all done.
Bro, we know.
Don't look at the runtime
Bro,
of this
we
video.
know. Bro, we saw it.
Okay, so
It'd be really funny if he actually did end it there and the rest of this was just black screen, but you know. He's a quality YouTube creator. He would never do you like that. I would do you like that. If I made a theory video and the theory ended in like the first like 10 minutes of the video and I wanted to bait you guys into thinking I had more, I would genuinely make the video like 20 minutes long and be like, that's the end of my theory. And I know I always say that's the end of my theory, but like it is for real this time. Like for real this time, you know? For real. And then it just cut to black and it'd be like 20 minutes of just that and like and like intermittently I'd like show back up again and just be like, no, but it is for real.
Genuinely wanted to end the theory here and be done with it, but there's a scene in the first Diary of a Wimpy Kid movie that I can't stop thinking about. I don't even want to show it because...
By the way, if you guys are wondering why I seem to be talking over the video so fucking much, like, oh my god, didn't this guy have great reaction etiquette? He would always pause before he talked over the video. And I still do, right? I'm doing that right now. But the reason is I was, like, my Wi-Fi's ARG reaction got hit with, like, fucking 3 copyright strikes. And I was like, oh my fucking god, what the fuck? And I realized that if I'm not talking over the music that plays in these people's backgrounds, my video is eligible to get hit with copyright. So, yeah, I just have to talk over their music, which sucks because I would like to be able to like pay attention to what they're saying, but you know, that's how it is.
I wasn't gonna.
I'm not gonna be able to do that.
Just
what's up, Alex?
Take a look for yourself.
Alrighty.
He had to eat his lunch on the floor.
I was right. You're not even gonna make it out of there alive. The only chance you have making the yearbook is when they dedicate it to your memory.
Is this actually just a Greg is dead theory?
The only chance you'll have of making the yearbook is if they dedicate it to your memory.
Wait a minute.
Wait a second.
Wait a second.
Could that be what these movies are?
Could that be what these books are?
Write these diaries because Greg is
dead? No.
Oh, what the fuck?
No fucking... We're really doing Greg is dead theory? There's been so fucking many of these, man.
I know. I promised I wasn't gonna do another they were dead the whole time theory. But I swear, this is not your usual edgy run-of-the-mill Greg's in purgatory theory.
The SpongeBob one is really fucking funny. Like saying it about Harry Potter or Ash Ketchum is like... You know, it's like, okay, theoretically, these human children could be in a coma and they're dreaming these awesome things while they die. But, like, SpongeBob is in, like, a coma and he's dying and this is his dream while he dies is the funniest shit ever. Because they expect you to be like, oh, yeah, bro, this fucking talking sponge, man, like, he's in a coma. All this shit that's happening to this talking sponge underwater, it's just too unrealistic. He has to be dying. No way.
There's something to this. And I know people have already suggested this before, but what I have never seen anyone talk about is the fact that there are so many moments in these movies that talk about Greg like he is dead or going to die.
You'll be dead or homeschooled by the end of the year anyway. You're not even gonna make it out of there alive.
He will kill you. Literally kill you.
You're dead.
Move over. I'm dying. He'll kill me. You're killing me. You know that?
You guys are dead.
Why don't kill me if he knows we're here?
You're so freaking dead.
I'll die.
You can't call if you're dead.
You can kill me.
She's gonna kill both of us.
We're dead.
Mom.
Okay. There's a lot of these, right? There's a lot of these.
You are so dead.
Goodbye, Gregory. You will always
But
be
like,
remembered.
When they dedicate it to your memory.
Like,
let's talk
I'm not
about it.
crazy, right? That
No, you're crazy. Let's talk about it, right? That is pretty basic things to be saying, right? Let's read all of these. You'll be dead or homeschooled by the end of the year anyway. You're not even going to make it out of there alive. This is an older brother. This is like an edgy, older teen brother talking to his fucking little middle school sibling who's getting bullied and picked on and stuff, right? Very basic stuff to say. When they dedicate it to your memory, also Roderick, right? He'll kill you, literally kill you. Maybe they're talking about a bully or something like that. You're killing me, you know that? So many people say that shit, you know, you're killing me, right? Very normal. Mom will kill me if she knows we're here, you know. Oh, my parents are going to kill me. Mom's going to kill me. Dad's going to kill me, you know, if they find out about that. That's all very basic stuff. You guys are dead. Very simple stuff. You're dead, right? All kinds of shit like that. Basic stuff to say to people you're mad at, right? I'm dying. I don't know what that one was about. He'll kill me. Yeah, you're dead. You're so freaking dead. I'll die. You can't call if you're dead. You can kill me. She's gonna kill both of us. Mom would kill us. We're dead. You're so dead. Greg, you're so dead. The only one that is maybe even a little strange is Goodbye, Gregory. You will always be remembered. But even then, that's like, again, there is nothing here that's out of the ordinary, especially for like the early 2000s and how people talk like that. Like that's just very like regular. It's just regular. There's nothing about this that's strange at all.
That's a weird amount of references to Greg's death.
Not really,
and remember,
no.
these are the same movies that decided to unambiguously tell us that Greg is famous enough to get a movie made about him.
I always figured they'd make a movie about my life.
Maybe they're also telling us the reason why, and these are just actors portraying someone who tragically passed away.
To be fair, I don't know why you'd need to say maybe. If the movie explicitly states that Greg did get famous and this is an in-universe movie, it's obvious that that would be an actor because Greg would be a grown-ass man by now. Or dead.
It's not just the movies either. In Dog Days, when Greg is talking about reading in school, he says this very interesting line. I'm not really sure what makes a book a classic to begin with, but I think it has to be at least 50 years old, and some person or animal has to die at the end. And then later on, when he has to read Charlotte's Web, he says, just from looking at the cover, I guarantee either the girl or the pig doesn't make it to the end of the book.
Okay. Yeah. We get it. You fucking... We get it, bro. That's a stretch. That's zooming the fucking Charlotte's Web image in and it has the same kind of like nose and silhouette. That's such a fucking stretch, dude. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm doubting so much in this video, but this is the most Stretch Armstrong theory Alex Bale has ever made in his fucking life. The SpongeBob one's so much easier to believe. The fucking Twilight one, so easy to believe. This is the biggest stretch of all time. This is so stretched, bro. Like, fuck.
Going off the rails here, but wouldn't it be so tragically ironic if Greg actually did become as famous as he wanted, but it was only because of his death?
Like, you know the craziest part, despite the fact that we're 11 minutes into this video, that's probably the most compelling thing he said so far, and it's simply from like a storytelling perspective. Like, simply from an irony perspective. I mean, well, actually, no. This is a whole separate theory. That was the most compelling part of this theory. This theory does not have a lot of compelling evidence so far. The most compelling thing from this entire video has been the before he was born memories and the books getting more and more cartoony as they go on, to suggest that it's actually, what's his name, Frank? Whatever Greg's dad name is writing these. This is a believable theory, even if I did really like get on it while it was going on. This is fairly believable, right? This one, it's just not clicking for me. We're not even halfway through it, but it's just not clicking for me.
I just figured they'd make a movie about my life, but I didn't think they'd start the story here.
That's why they adapted the diaries into movies. That's why he's always been stuck in middle school. And that is the real reason why his father decided to write a book series about him, to keep his memory alive. And look, it's okay if you're not fully on board yet, because I've still got some really big evidence.
All right, sweet.
But before we get into that, I want to take a look at how I think the real Greg Heffley might have died.
Okay,
and
this might convince me.
This will probably sound like a lot of random speculation at first, but I promise it'll all come together in the end.
Nuts. What do you want? The fire? You gonna tell me he died in a fire?
Going back to the movie that told us about Greg's fame and possible death, there's a scene where...
Another reaction video with food. I've returned. I mostly left because of my cat, but I just went and got myself some food.
Roderick tells Greg and Rowley a scary story about a nearby forest called Devil Worshipper Woods.
Oh. There used to be this house. They had to tear it down because what happened there was so terrible. Two kids who were, I don't know, maybe in middle school. They trick-or-treated that house on Halloween night. But the house was full of devil worshippers.
Roderick tells them about a house that abducted children and cooked them in an oven. But that ultimately led to an accidental fire that burned down the house with everyone inside.
But they forgot to turn off the ovens, so the house burned down with everyone in it.
Okay.
Now, this is obviously just a story
Yeah,
Roderick is making.
Because I was about to say, the way he's been fucking stretching on a lot of this shit made me think he was about to be like, and I think that's what happened to Greg. No, obviously not. It's just a story that he was making up on the spot. Just like with a lot of the things where it's like, oh, you're so dead. Oh, mom's gonna kill us. Oh, you're dead. Oh, you're gonna come out of there dead or homeschooled or shit like that. It's just shit that Roderick is saying as an edgy older brother, right? Like, I'm glad that he's at least acknowledging that, but he chose not to acknowledge it during all the you're dead shit, but whatever.
Greg. They even go to the woods later and only see Fregley.
Guys?
But what if there's a nugget of truth to this story? Because later, in Roderick Rules, we briefly see a newspaper that seems to be talking about some kind of fire.
Charges in fire to the fire about half a mile past the end of Summer Street around 6 a.m. to extinguish hotspots. The department will monitor the area for another 24 hours. He said the cause of the fire is still being investigated according to... Okay.
And in the books, there are several references to house fires, including an instance where Greg actually accidentally causes one in their home.
Okay.
There's also this insane deleted scene from the third movie where Manny ominously talks about an accident.
You threw Tingy away.
Well, it was an accident.
Tingy says you're going to have an accident.
That is pretty ominous.
Yeah, I see why they deleted that scene. There are a lot of weird references to some kind of accident or house fire throughout the franchise. What if these are hints about how Greg actually died? But if so,
could be.
When?
Okay.
And
it's getting more convincing. It's getting a lot more convincing. Now you just need to stick the landing. All these references to fires and stuff in media that we're assuming... Usually this is only said with music, but we're assuming this media is diegetic, like it's within the universe that it takes place in. And a lot of it is there's a lot of references to dying or an accident and fire and stuff like that in reference to the character we are saying is dead. So now you just need to stick the landing, because you've got me. You've convinced me a little bit. Follow it up. Let's go.
How did this happen? Well,
how did it happen?
Here's my theory.
All right.
In Roderick Rules, Roderick throws a party when their parents and Manny go out of town.
And don't have anybody over this weekend.
He tells Greg that he can join the party, but ends up locking him in the basement instead.
We need chairs from the basement.
Ooh, okay. I see where this is going.
Yeah,
right?
and it's staying closed. I don't need a middle schooler ruining my party.
Roderick!
Now,
in the movie / book, Roderick lets him out, or some bullshit like that. They're at the fucking party together. But he's going to say that there was a house fire at Roderick's party. They never got Greg out of the basement. He dies in the basement, right?
in the movie, Greg is able to escape and join the party, but in the books, Greg is trapped there all night, and he says that it was so cold that he practically froze to death.
Oh, we saying he froze to
The
death?
next day, he gets out and they quickly clean up before their parents come home. They even have to replace one of their doors, but they do finish in time.
See? Told you it'd work.
I knew that
But
door had
look
a
at
lock
what the
on it.
diary says about their parents' reactions when they first get home. Mom and Dad's car rolled into the driveway right when we were tightening the last screw. You could tell they were pretty relieved the house hadn't burned down when they were away. Interesting. Another very...
There it is. Alright, so are we going with he practically froze to death being the thing that they like changed for it to be like, okay, he didn't freeze to death, instead he got out, but that's in real life where he died? Or are we going with they're super juxtaposing what happened in real life, and instead of him, like, you know, them actually burning the house down and Greg dies in the basement, instead Greg is so cold all night, but then he eventually gets out and, oh, they're so surprised the house didn't burn, like, something like that.
Specific reference to an accidental house fire. Again, that's weird, but obviously there was no actual fire here. I mean, in every version of the story, there...
It's not that weird. I mean, when you leave people to be home alone, a very common saying is don't burn the house down, you know? So like that. So, I wouldn't say it's that weird, dude.
It was a crazy party, and Greg gets trapped in the basement, but the house never burns down. But what if
What if it did?
Remember, this diary, and by extension the movies based on them, are unreliable narrators, possibly written by a grieving father who wants to keep the memory of his son alive. So we don't know for sure what actually happened when Greg was locked in that basement all night. The basement that Frank has warned them to stay out of. The basement that Greg was practically freezing to death.
So are we going with froze
no
or
source of
fire?
warmth. Except, that's not entirely true, because we also know that the basement is the house's furnace room.
What the fuck are we talking about?
So what if Greg
Are we saying
tried
Greg
to
caused
get
the fire?
warmer by messing with the furnace,
Oh,
but
that's-
instead
there's
he ended
been-
up accidentally starting a deadly house fire? Yes,
That's really
I
good.
believe that Greg never actually left that basement, and everything after this page is a complete
cap,
and
fabrication.
total lie.
That's pretty good, because saying like he was so cold and then there he started tampering with the furnace and then he ended up burning the house. That's pretty good. I won't lie. It's better than where I thought this was going. That's good. That's good stuff.
Okay, that's a big claim, I know. And
It
I
is,
did warn you,
but it's believable.
this would sound like a lot of random speculation, but I do actually have the evidence to back it up. To start off, remember that newspaper that mentioned a fire? Well, Greg gets it as he's cleaning up the party. And it mentions the fire happening at 6 a.m. when Greg still would have been freezing in the basement. And also, look at what happens immediately after this page in the movie.
You are in so much trouble.
She's gonna kill both of us.
Greg and Roderick are unambiguous.
Are we implying that they both died in the house fire? Because again, this is a very obviously just a thing people said, right? And people still say. And this is just an illustration for a joke. But fair enough, if we take it to the extreme, it could be they both died in a house fire.
Depicted as dead. This theory also explains why a lot of the death references also include Roderick.
She's gonna kill both of us.
We're dead.
Mom would kill us, and I am a dead man.
Since he would likely be a victim of the fire as well.
The house burned down with everyone in it.
Frank even describes the smell of Roderick's room as unidentifiable.
What is that smell? I can't even identify it.
But the real reason
Like the
why
bodies?
I think this fire theory is so compelling is because of the very strange way that Frank starts to act when he gets home. Yes, that is correct. I am finally going to talk about the thing that has been all over TikTok for the past year.
I knew that
the
door had a
movie's
lock on it.
depiction of Frank.
Guess who's the laugher now? Me! I'm the laugher! Ah! I knew that door had a lock on it, and everybody was trying to make me feel like I was losing
My mind.
I am far from the first person to notice this, but in the Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies, Frank acts legitimately insane. To the point where it's kind of become a meme to joke about him being this serial killer guy that might have killed his family.
Hey, how about then, no video games and no television for the rest of the summer?
Dad, no!
I stopped laughing. I stopped.
Ah! Guess who's the laugher now?
I feel like I'm literally dreaming. And I don't mean what he's doing. I mean, like, you saying this is like evidence for like being a serial killer is a little extreme. Like, you know, whatever. He is very uncanny.
Me! I'm the laugher! I'm the laughingest laugher that ever laughed!
But the thing that's interesting to me that I haven't seen anyone talk about is that Frank doesn't really start to act like this until after the Roderick Rules party, when he becomes extremely paranoid and starts to believe that something's wrong with the house.
So, who came over this weekend?
I mean, actually, like, obviously, within the context of the movie and all that, it's because he assumes that Roderick, you know, he knows Roderick is a bad kid. You know, he knows he's generally misbehaved, and he's going to assume that he had people over and he broke a lot of rules and shit. But if we take it into the context of the theory, we could say that they are rewriting what actually happened when he came home, where he investigated and felt as though something was wrong, maybe because... Well, no, you wouldn't even come home and investigate, feel like something was wrong, because the whole house would be in the fucking ground. It'd be burned to a crisp. So, I don't know.
What? Hey! What the?
You guys got something you want to tell me?
What was General Grant doing on the thermostat?
He acts this way in the books too, but in the movies, he really acts like he's losing his sanity over the little inconsistencies in the house.
I knew that door had a lock on it! And everybody was trying to make me feel like I was losing my mind! This roller skate.
That is not a little inconsistency. Okay, if you're worried about your kid having a party and you come home and there's a new door, what the fuck happened? Right? That's not little at all. I knew that door had I knew that door had a lock on it. Thing is completely reasonable. I would be the same way.
Getting kid is really good. Don't you think that is good?
Ooh,
What
okay.
if what we're actually seeing is Frank having some kind of mental breakdown because he couldn't handle the reality of coming home to find his house had burned down with both of his children inside?
What is that smell? I can't even identify it.
I think that Frank would be incapable of accepting this horrible truth, so instead, he's staying in denial and imagining that the fire never actually happened and that his children are still alive.
Deny, deny, deny.
Got it. Deny, deny, deny.
The reason why Frank is fixating on the little differences in his house, like the bathroom lock being different, is because in reality, he's actually already moved into an entirely new home after the
that's a
fire,
good one,
but
okay.
he'd rather concoct a whole elaborate story about his children replacing the door than accept the truth.
I knew that door had a lock on it!
Deny, deny, deny.
Also, remember that terrifying Manny deleted scene?
Tingy says you're going to have an accident.
Yeah, nobody reacts except for Frank. He's the only one that reacts, so maybe.
This scene makes no sense in the context of this movie.
Doesn't
But with this
at all.
theory, it just fits so perfectly. This is a moment of...
Here's the issue with that, though. It's a deleted scene. Within the context of the actual movie, it doesn't matter. But I understand where you're coming from, and it makes sense within the context of your theory, so I'll let you fly.
truth sneaking into Frank's delusions. His subconscious is telling him about the accident, but he is completely unable to accept it.
The house burned down with everyone in it. Deny, deny, deny.
And I think that that is the real reason why Frank decided to create a diary pretending to be his son, Greg, so that he could continue to remain in denial about his death forever. I told you it would all click together. It's possible Greg did actually have his own diary at some point, and now Frank is just continuing it. But either way, I think that the books that we are reading are a strange denial fantasy that Frank is writing to cope with his son's death. This also gives a whole new meaning to why Frank is so protective over the basement.
Yes.
The basement is where Frank works on his Civil War dioramas, and he's really strict
It was
about...
Civil War. Okay. I was wrong. It was Civil War. It wasn't World War I or II. It was Civil War.
Not wanting anyone to go down there. But maybe, even in his fantasy, Frank actually wants to keep his kids away from the basement that caused all of this. There's also this moment at the end of the Roderick Rules movie where Frank realizes his entire family is no longer sitting with him.
This roller skating kid is really good. Don't you
That's
think
really...
he's really good?
Yeah.
And people like to joke about how Frank is realizing his entire family is dead
schizophrenia.
or whatever, which doesn't exactly line up with my fire theory since Susan and Manny would still be alive. But if Frank has turned the loss of their children into
Divorce,
a fictional
obviously.
best-selling franchise for money, then I could totally see Susan divorcing him and
mothers
taking
offering it to
Manny.
kids,
I mean,
yeah.
she was very much depicted as someone who believes in honesty.
You lied to me, and you know how I feel about that.
So I think this scene actually works really well with this theory.
Don't you think that
Everybody's gone.
Whether or not
They
you
all
agree
left you,
with
Frank.
every part of this theory,
They were never
you have to
real.
admit, there's a lot of really compelling connections here, and it offers us a very tragic new way to read these books. Nothing of what we see in these diaries is the full truth. It's a combination of both Frank's true memories of his son and fictional ones he's created to keep the lie going. We have to think of these books as more than just Frank and Greg. They're a weird amalgamation of them both. In a sense, these books are the story of Freg.
No, don't fucking do it. Don't fucking do it.
Oh, what the fuck?
No fucking way. No fucking way.
Fregley has never felt like a real person. We never actually learn anything about him beyond the fact that he is this weird, inhuman, freaky kid who's always around.
Wanna see my secret freckle? I'll sign it, Greg Heffley, if you let me look at your infection.
What if that's because he was never actually real? He was always something made up for the diary. What if Fregley is actually a symbolic representation of both Frank and Greg? You have to admit that their canon full names, Franklin and Gregory, sound a whole lot like Fregley when combined. Because
I am neither Frank nor Greg. Like, what are we talking about, dude? Okay.
he is a representation of the dark truth that Greg is actually dead and Frank is pretending to be him. It's why Fregley is depicted as this weird kind of disgusting kid, because deep down, Frank is disgusted with himself for what he is doing, and
he's like pretending to be his son. So he's like, Frank, this disgusting, he feels wrong about it, so the character is disgusting. And then it's like a middle schooler with glasses and stuff, kind of like how, well, his son didn't have glasses, but it doesn't matter. He's like this little fucking middle school kid. And also there's a reason, it could be the reason he looks so uncanny. Like, where is it?
That Greg is actually dead and Frank is pretending to be him. It's why...
Yeah, it could be part of the reason why he looks so weird and uncanny, like why his mouth is so wide and shit. Because he's not real. He's fake. He's like a fucking, it's like the bad, it's like if you showed somebody, it's like if you told somebody to draw a dog after describing what it looked like to them, or so, whatever the fuck the backrooms thing is. He's like a still life.
Fregley is depicted as this weird kind of disgusting kid, because deep down, Frank is disgusted with himself for what he is doing, and this disgust and shame manifests in the diaries as Fregley. It's why in both the books and the movies, Greg is mistaken for Fregley.
Hi, Ollie. Oh, hi, Fregley. You think so, Fregley?
Why does Fregley have a secret language? Because Greg has a secret language. Why does Fregley want to show his secret freckle? Maybe because Greg also recently discovered a new freckle. And what does Fregley do in the town talent show? He's a ventriloquist speaking for his puppet.
Hello to the boys and girls, Freggers. Hello, boys and girls.
Just like the way Frank speaks for Greg. And finally, remember the Devil Worshipper Woods story? This was the story that first hinted about Greg's accidental house fire. What does Greg actually find when he goes there?
Fregley. You know?
Guys?
Fregley. Because Fregley represents the dark truth in Diary of a Wimpy Kid. And that is my theory. Thank you very much, Zooey Mama.
Zooey Mama, big dog. Listen, Alexander Bale, what's out here? Alright, nothing much. Oh, wait.
That's the last time I'll ever do a they were dead the whole time theory.
Thank God. Please never do that shit again. So cliche.
Ever again. No more.
Don't ever do that shit.
Right?
Don't fucking say right. Don't ever do that shit again. I need you to come up with new and unique theories, bro. We can't be on that, oh, they were dead the whole time shit. I mean, I guess you could say the fact that it was a even more unreliable narrator and it was his father narrating as him. And that's why, you know, like, that like adds on to the they were dead the whole time theory. I like that the theories are separated in like these, what felt like separate parts. But they really did all come back together into one theory. That's very nice. Good shit, Alex Bale. He really knows how to put a video together, right? Overall, not his best theory. Far from the most convincing he's ever had. But I can see it. I can see where he's coming from. That's going to be it from Alexander Bale. That's going to be it from me. Subscribe and all that stuff. And I guess I'll see you guys. I probably won't see you guys in the next video, actually. You know, I got a comment. I don't know if I actually talked about this already. I've gone and done stuff for my cat and fucking like gotten food and shit like that. So I don't remember if I actually already talked about this. But I got a comment on the Leviathan reaction video where a guy was like, "Oh, good to see the goat uploaded" or some shit. And it's like, brother, do you think I just uploaded reaction videos like fucking however many months ago, took them all down and never uploaded again? No. I still make videos. I just make far less reaction videos than before. You can still watch my other shit. Christ. Anyway, yeah, I'll be seeing you guys.